Starting an online business can feel totally overwhelming. Everyone and their brother is telling you their model is the best one. But here's a thought. What if the best business isn't about the model at all, but about where you are in your career? So let's break down this roadmap. So, this right here is the main idea we're digging into today, and it comes straight from entrepreneur Ayman Gaji. He basically says that success isn't about finding that one perfect business idea. It's about following a sequence, a roadmap. And look, trying to skip a step, that's pretty much a guaranteed way to fail. But if you follow the path, well, success becomes almost inevitable.
All right, so here's the game plan. First up, we're going to lay down the 3 core principles that should guide every single decision you make. Then we'll walk through the whole 7-step path, from making your very first dollar online to building assets that are actually sellable and valuable. And the really important part? We'll wrap up by helping you figure out exactly where you are on this map and what your very next move should be. Okay, so before we even touch on the different business models, we need to get our thinking straight. We need a way to look at them. These 3 ideas, equity, leverage, and vacation, they're the key to building real wealth and freedom, and not just building yourself another paycheck.
All right, first up is equity. And honestly, this is the big one. Think about it. When you hear about billionaires, they don't have billions just sitting in a bank account, right? Nope. Their wealth is tied up in ownership, equity in their companies. And that is the goal here, to build something you actually own, not just a job that pays the bills. Okay, next up, leverage. This is your secret weapon, your force multiplier. See, in the beginning, you only have your own skills to leverage. But as you move up the ladder, you start leveraging other people's skills, and eventually your own money. This is how you break free from trading your time for money.
And last but not least, we have the vacation test. Now, this one might sound super simple, but trust me, it's the ultimate litmus test for success. The question is, can you actually step away from your work for 2 weeks without your income tanking or the whole thing falling apart? If you can do that, congratulations. You've built a real business, not just a job.
Okay, with those 3 principles locked in, let's jump to the very beginning of the roadmap. These are the models for anyone who's starting from absolute zero. They're all about getting your first bit of income and, just as important, building those foundational skills.
And here it is, the full 7-step roadmap. Now pay attention to how this is structured. We start with stuff that needs very little skill, very little money, and we slowly climb up to the models that build real, sellable businesses. It's a ladder, plain and simple. So let's get on that first rung.
All right, step 1, content marketing. And I mean, we're talking super basic here. Just think about those Instagram pages that do nothing but post memes or funny cat videos. So how do they make money? Well, through things like the platform's creator fund, selling shoutouts, or even selling the entire account. Believe it or not, this is exactly how Ayman Gaji made his first couple $1,000 online.
So once you've built up a little bit of an audience, what you really have is attention. The next logical move is to turn that attention into cash. That's where affiliate marketing comes in. You get to recommend products you actually believe in, all without the headache of creating one yourself.
Now, this step is a huge turning point, because affiliate marketing, it's the very first model on our roadmap where those principles we talked about, leverage and vacation, really start to kick in. You're leveraging your audience, and the best part is when you find deals with recurring revenue. That's money that hits your bank account every single month, even when you're taking a week off.
Okay, time to get serious. Look, the first 2 steps are fantastic starting points, don't get me wrong. But digital services, this is the model that reliably gets beginners to their first few $1,000s a month online. It's all about selling skills that people desperately need.
The potential here is massive. I mean, high-demand skills like copywriting or running ads can easily pull in thousands a month. But, and this is a big but, here's the trap. You gain 0 equity. You haven't built an asset. You've just built yourself a really nice, high-paying job. The moment you stop working, the money stops. You are the business.
So how do you escape that trap? How do you get off that hamster wheel? Well, that brings us to the next major phase of the roadmap. This is where you make the big pivot from just being a solo freelancer to becoming a real business owner. And that pivot brings us to step 4, building an agency. Now, the shift in what you do is actually pretty simple, but the results are profound. You can see the difference right here. As a freelancer, you're the one doing all the work. As an agency owner, your job is to manage the work. You're now leveraging the skills of other people, and for the very first time, you're building a brand, a business with actual tangible equity.
The model itself, it's actually dead simple. Let's say you charge a client $3,000 for a service. Then you turn around and pay a skilled contractor $1,000 to actually do it. You keep the $2,000 difference. See? Your job just changed. It's no longer about writing copy. It's about finding clients and making sure the work gets done right.
Okay, so after you've been running an agency for a bit, you've really dialed in your systems, you've become a genuine expert. So what's the next logical move? You package all that knowledge up, and that's step 5, digital products. Instead of selling your service one person at a time, you're selling your knowledge to hundreds or thousands of people at once. Sure, it's less money per customer, but it is way more scalable.
All right, now we are entering the end game. These last few models, they're the most advanced, they're capital intensive, and the whole point here is to create assets that are truly valuable, that you can sell and they can operate totally without you.
Step 6 is physical products. And just to be clear, I'm not talking about drop shipping here. We are talking about building a real brand with quality products. Think about it. When someone buys a pair of Nikes, they don't care if the CEO is on vacation. They're buying the product, the brand. That right there is a truly sellable, scalable business.
But, and this is a huge but, there's a massive catch. And it's exactly why this step is so far down the road. The amount of money you need to put in is enormous. I mean, Godzi himself put up nearly $1 million just to launch a new physical product brand. You just have to be at a point in your career where you can handle that level of risk.
And that brings us to the final step, the holy grail of online business, software. Why is it the pinnacle? Because it perfectly combines all 3 of our guiding principles: equity, leverage, and the vacation test. Now, it is by far the hardest to build. It takes a ton of skill and a ton of capital. But a successful software company, it's the closest thing you'll find to a machine that just prints money while building wealth that can last for generations.
So, there you have it. We've walked through the entire map, from a simple Instagram page all the way to a complex software company. The question at this point isn't which business is the best. The real question is, where do I fit on this path right now?
And you have to remember, this isn't just some abstract theory. It's a proven path that works. The secret is being brutally honest with yourself about where you are, mastering that stage, and only then moving on to the next one. Whatever you do, don't try to jump from step 1 to step 7.
So I'm going to leave you with this one simple question. Please don't worry about step 7 if you're still figuring out step 2. Take a good, hard look at this roadmap, be honest about where you stand, and then just decide on the one single, logical next step you need to take. Because that's how you really begin.